Hello and welcome to Color Up. So today we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to react to this James Bond film, Diamonds Are Forever. We're going to watch the crap scene in it, and then I'm going to dissect it a little bit, see what errors there might be, and then I think we're going to try to translate his strategy, and then I'll roll it out over on the table. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So let's go ahead and start from the beginning and kind of break down. I noticed something right away, so let's go ahead and jump to the beginning here. Let me pause it right there. So they were coming out, and the guy here is going to lose. The stickman calls it boxcars, which is a 12, or I think he says craps boxcars. But if you notice there's odds there behind that one player's line. So that wouldn't be accurate, or at least it wouldn't count because there's no number set, so you wouldn't have odds there. Craps boxcar loser. All right, so this guy is
You're a nice person, Maxie. Really, you are.
Lost his money. That's kind of funny. He's like, hey, why don't you want to come to my room? And she's like, whatever, loser. All right.
May I have $5,000? No, make it $10,000. $2,000 limit.
Okay, so catches her ear because Bond, you hear in the background, asking for, he says $5,000, no $10,000. He's asking for credit, and then he says a $2,000 limit. So it must be a lower table limit. This is an older movie, so yeah, I can imagine the limits were lower, but he's asked for an increase of to get everything to 2,000.
Was some problem?
Exactly. Gentleman wants $10,000 credit with a $2,000 limit.
My name is Franks.
So the box is asking
Mr. Franks,
Pitt
credit's good.
if it's okay.
Good luck to you, Mr. Franks.
Thank you. I'll have
Pitt says it's okay. He'll take 2 stacks now. So 2 stacks, if they were $500 chips, that would be way too much. So let's see, 500 times, stacks are in stacks of 20. So that would be 10,000. So it'd be $20,000, which is more than he asked for. So they're probably stacks of 100. Yeah, so stacks of 100 would be 2,000. So basically he wants 4,000 to start with, which makes sense. So 2 stacks of 2,000 each.
The gentleman, 4,000.
Yeah, okay. And then right there in the video he says, give the gentleman 4,000.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Plenty.
But of course you are.
Plenty O'Toole.
Plenty O'Toole introduces herself.
Named after your father, perhaps?
Would you like some help? On the craps, I mean.
It's very kind of you.
All right, he lets her help her out. She grabs a couple chips. So those are $100 chips. They're pink. Normally most casinos they're black, but they're pink here. Pinker or reddish.
Coming out.
Okay, and it looks like maybe she grabbed a couple or 2 and then is putting some back. So I don't know what she's putting in line, maybe 100. But we're coming out.
Next is the lady. Ladies are lucky. How's the lady? 9, mark 9.
Okay, mark the 9, he says. So the odds were in that scene, the odds were missing. So now they have an accurate come out. And she's shaking the roll again. So she's got her point of 9. We don't know if any other bets are made, at least by Bond.
7 loser. The lucky lady.
All right, 7 loser. So 7 out. And so apparently, we don't know if there's any rolls in between, but apparently she rolled a 0.7 out. Not too good. Right there, the dealer says craps out. That's not, you crap out with a 2, 3, and 12. It's officially a 7 out. I know a lot of people say craps out, but it's really a 7 out, not a crap out. She's like, I love that. She's like, sorry. Not my money, but sorry. All right, and this is the scene. I think that's the same pit manager, and he.
Right, speaking. Tree's dead.
This
Turn on number
this
2.
must relate to the movie because they're talking about the diamonds.
It's Peter Franks.
But they're going to keep an eye on number 2. Okay, so this is interesting. We don't know how much time elapsed, but the dice move clockwise around the table. So really the next shooter should be the guy in the red shirt. So I don't know if maybe some time has elapsed and the dice have moved all the way around the table, or maybe everyone could pass. Say, hey, let's let the big roller shoot. And everyone just said pass, 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 when it was their turn to shoot. So we're back to Bond. We see there at the bottom of the screen, it looks like there's a pile of chips on the line. I don't know if that's the lady next to him or his, but so we don't know how much is on the line for his come out roll, but let's see what happens.
Hard 10, hard 10.
All right, so let me back that up if I can. Let's see if I can pause it right in time. If you'll notice there, the dice didn't make it to the back wall. One of them hit the puck, and he rolls a hard 10, is what the stick man calls. So everywhere, it's kind of the rule. You have to hit that back wall, the back rubber wall, for the roll to count. So a lot of times they would call no roll. It's up to their discretion. They'll let it pass. Most casinos will let it pass every once in a while. But if they warn you or whatever, because it's his very first roll, I could see them being like, maybe we'll let this slide, but you better hit the back wall next time. But, obviously he's a big player with big money. So maybe they would be like, this guy's experienced, so maybe he should hit the back wall. I don't know. Either way, the dice are short and they let it slide and they call it a hard 10.
Hard 10. There's the number.
I'll take the full odds on the 10, 200 on the hard way. The limit on all the numbers, 250 on the 11. Thank you very much.
Okay, so he calls out his bets. All right, let me back that up. Let's see.
10, 200 on the...
All right, a little bit further here.
I'll take the full odds on the 10, 200...
Okay, so he asked for full odds on the 10. During this time, it was real common for odds to just be 2 times. So we don't know what he has on the line, but he's asking for full odds. Again, you wouldn't call that out to the dealer necessarily. You would just put the odds behind yourself. It's not something you would announce.
200 on the hard way. The limit on all the numbers, 200...
What he said, what did he say, 200 on the hard way? Let's see.
I'll take the full odds on the 10, 200 on the hard way.
200 on the hard way. So he said that's singular, so I'm guessing it's 200 on just the hard 10. Could have been on all the hard ways, but he says hard way, so I'm guessing it's just $200 on the 10.
The limit on all the numbers, 200...
So the limit on all the numbers, so we're assuming the 10's covered, so it must be the limit on all the others. Now, earlier in the video, he asked for them to increase the limit to 2,000. So I guess it's 2,000 on all of the numbers. Yeah, at that limit, you would buy all the numbers because it would make sense. Not the 6 and 8, but the 4, 5, and 9 you would buy. But I don't know what he does there.
50 on the 11. Thank you very much.
And then he asked for a $250 11 or $250 one roll bet. And he only asked for $4,000 in chips to begin with. So he couldn't really cover all the numbers with the limit. So I'm not sure. That's a little iffy there. Unless maybe he got some more money or, I don't know. I guess it could be 2,000 max across the table. But he's already got, a couple hundred in odds, 200 on the hard 10, 250 on the 11. So you would think his place bets would be more, but...
Played this game before.
Just once.
Yeah, so a little joke there. She's like, oh, obviously you played this game before. And he's like, just once.
Now what do we do?
Don't bother me with details, Bert. Just get me the diamonds.
All right, here they pay out in plaques. So some casinos will move to plaques at higher denominations. It's more common in Europe than it is America. But instead of chips, sometimes they'll go to a bigger chip, and sometimes they'll go to plaques, different sizes and shapes, but they're like little boards. And here he pays out, we see 40, and I think there's 2 reds. So he pays him out $50,000. So obviously he's done pretty well.
You handle those cubes like a monkey handles coconut.
So right there, he reaches down and grabs a couple chips. I can't see how many. They do look like they're pink. So he must have had some still in his rail. And this is what he's going to tip from, the chips. So
Thank you, gentlemen, for such a sterling service.
thank you, gentlemen, for such sterling service. And it looks like he has, by the way he handles it, it looks like there's more than one chip. So he's got multiple chips. So he threw in a couple $100 tip, it looks like.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's $50,000.
Minus 5,000.
So, she just reaffirms it's $50,000, and here's $5,000 for you.
Leaves me 45,000, and thank you very much.
Well, it was nothing, really.
It was nothing
Know
really.
something, Peter Frank?
So another question I have is, he has 50, but did he take out all 10 and then repay back the marker, or that 4,000 in chips that he got on loan to begin with? Has he already paid that off? Doesn't really kind of take care of that, but he did take a loan out, or a marker, so that does have to be repaid. Normally they give you time to do that, so he doesn't necessarily have to pay it off at the table right then. So we don't know. So maybe out of that 45 he has left, he still has to pay back the 4.
Thanks. You're a terrific guy. A little weird, but a terrific guy.
I'd say he's terrific.
Why don't we go someplace and have a drink?
A drink?
So there, she asks him, why don't we go have a drink? And he's like, a drink? I'm just assuming he's like, I just paid you $5,000, and maybe I can get a little more than a drink. I don't know. I don't know the situation for that. So that's kind of the breakdown of that. So again, there's so many holes in it we don't know, but I'm going to try to scale it down when he says, like, as far as the question of when he says the limit on all the numbers as far as his strategy goes. So he's coming out, he's doing odds. We're going to assume it's double odds. He says full odds, so we'll assume it's double odds. And then he says the limit on all the numbers. Again, we don't know what that is. He didn't really have enough money to put 2,000 on every number, which is the limit he asked for. And then he did the hard way for 200, and then a 250 yo. So let's scale it down a little bit and head over the table and try out the James Bond strategy. So in the movie, he asked for 5, no $10,000, and he actually just starts with $4,000. So let's go ahead and scale that down by a factor of 10, and let's go, instead of 4,000, let's go with 400. So we'll get 2 stacks. That's just 200. And we'll do 2 blacks for a total of $400. Now, we don't know how much he put on the line, so I'm just going to assume he did a $100 chip. So we'll do, instead of a $100 chip, we'll do $10. And then he came out on a hard 10. So it comes out on a hard 10. And at that point, he does a hard way. And he doesn't say which number or anything, so we're going to assume it was a $200 hard way on the 10. In that case, we'll do $2. So we'll scale that down. So let's get some change here, 3 and change. And we'll do a $2 hard 10. He does say he wants double odds. Or he doesn't say double odds, he says full odds. So back in the day, a lot of times that was just 2 times odds. They really didn't have 3, 4, 5. They didn't have 10 or 100. So it's probably most likely that it was 2 times odds. So let's go ahead and put 20 behind. And then he said he wanted a $250 11. We can scale that down to $2.50 yo. So maybe we'll just do, since we have $3, we'll do a $3 yo. And then the last part of his bet is he asked for the limit on all the numbers. Now, I'm going to assume he didn't mean the one he already had covered with the point. Although the limit would be more than the money he had. if it was limit 2, 4, 6, 8, $10,000, he didn't even have, he only had $4,000, although he did ask for $10,000. He doesn't have enough to cover all the numbers. And if he did, that would be $10,000. He wouldn't have enough for the bets out here. So we really don't know what he bet out here. It's pretty safe to assume it was a larger number than like his line bet or something like that, or some of these. So, you know, maybe it was $500 on the numbers or something like that. So I don't know what it is. For our strategy, you know, to keep it down to a normal level, let's go ahead and go start at the green level. So $25 on all the numbers, and you want $30, 6 and 8. So 50 is 100 plus 60 is 110, another 25, 135. So let's go ahead and do that. So 125, 135, and we'll get these set up. Again, you probably want to buy the 4. We'll just go ahead and do it. Put our caps on here for 135. And again, if the VIG is after, then you would actually even buy the 5 and 9. I don't talk about that much because it's very rare that anyone will take the VIG on the win only for the 5 and 9. So we'll just keep those as place bets. So that's it. That's a setup. It's not overly complicated. So we got a line bet with odds. We've covered the rest of the numbers. We've got a hard way on whatever the point is established. We're assuming that's what he does. He had come out on a 10, and then for fun, he did a bet on the yo. I don't know if he replaces the yo. It's James Bond, so maybe he replaces it every roll. Now he went from a $4,000 buy-in to cashing, or coloring up, I should say, for $50,000. So at some point he was pressing his bets. You can't go from $4,000 to $50,000 without pressing your bets. You just, unless a huge amount of time it elapsed, that would be quite a grind. But yeah, at some point he's going to be pressing his bets. So yeah, let me just go from right here at this setup and see what happens with a little roll. And we'll maybe, we'll press the first time a number hits and then collect. I'm guessing my roll won't even last long enough to do that. But yeah, Plenty O'Toole said he was quite proficient with the dice. All right, so 3. So down would come our yo. Again, we don't know if he replaced it or not. So we'll just bring that down and keep going from there. 3, craps, 3. All right. Not really helping us out here. And a quick 7. All right, so that's fitting. So anyway, that is kind of the James Bond setup. Line and odds, cover the rest of the numbers, hard way, and then, you know, maybe a prop bet for fun. So it certainly didn't work out for me. I'm not cashing out for, well, let's see, even scaled down my 400, I would want to cash out for $5,000. So it'd be a heck of a roll. Very aggressive pressing to get there. But yeah, there you go. There's the James Bond strategy, and I hope you liked it, and kind of me doing this kind of review of a movie. If you have any other movie clip suggestions, go ahead and put them down in the comments. And until next time, good luck on coloring up.